I'm gonna give that a shot. Okay, so I'm ready to get started. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I'm thrilled to be back to talk about the Digital Express app. So last week, it was kind of like a soft launch. I shared the Digital Express app with a closed group, the Inspiration for Google group, and right away, it got a lot of excitement. People really loved using it, and over the last week or so, I myself have learned more about the app, some really cool strategies and some ideas I didn't have before on how we can use the app to even make things better in digital resources. So it even goes beyond what I was actually like intending it to be. So what is the Digital Express app? The Digital Express app is a fast track generator for your digital resources. So on average, it was taking me like 3 hours to convert a digital, a paper resource to a digital resource. Now it could take me less than, I don't know, 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, I can post a digital resource in Google Slides using the Digital Express app, and I am in love with it. Okay, so I want to first talk about how to download it from the zip folder and extract it and put it on your desktop. Okay, so I kind of just said it actually. So let's go to my desktop. Let's minimize that. Okay, so when you receive the Digital Express app, you have a zip folder. I'm just clarifying that I'm sharing my, okay. So in the zip folder, you will unzip it like you normally would, and you will take out of the zip folder, you'll extract the files in it. You're going to receive a Windows version, a Mac version, the tutorial, which is 18 pages, but most, there's background information and there's a couple pages on how to use the app. And there's also a version that I added yesterday for Windows 7 users that works awesome, by the way. And thank you for your patience on that. So the Windows 7 users, I know they're really happy with what they have right now. Okay, so in the tutorial, there are a couple pages, as you'll see here, on using the Digital Express app. I walk you through how to download the zip folder, how to extract the files. I recommend dragging the desktop client to your desktop so you can use it all the time. So Rose Casper from Rosie's Resources, she actually put it at the bottom of her desktop, which I thought was really cool. So she can access it as much as she wants, and it's really easy to get there. Okay, so I actually have it on mine also at the bottom, and I have a shortcut on my actual desktop. There's a couple more pages after that page that tells you step by step how to use the app and how to get your images over to Google Slides, which we will talk about everything tonight, and actually creating your digital resource. I added a page yesterday on some tips and strategies that will help you with using the app, some different things that I've learned over the last week. And I'll continue to add to the guide as I learn myself some new and exciting things that you can do with the app. So we covered that. And if you have any questions, if you can please comment under the Facebook Live, and I will do my best to get to them towards the end. Okay, so this is my desktop. And here we have the Digital Express app. So here we go, we're gonna start. We need images. And how do we get images? You can generate your images, your image files from PowerPoint, Photoshop. I like to use I've seen my friends like to use Illustrator. There's InDesign, Publisher. People have used Word, Microsoft Word. I am a PowerPoint person. I go to PowerPoint to create my digital resources. So for this demonstration tonight, I'm going to use PowerPoint. So that's what we're going to do first. We're going to open the PowerPoint, and it is here. All right, so here we have a digital notebook that I created for project-based learning. And the PowerPoint file is loaded with slides that I have put images, I've built the pages, but everything is movable at this point. There's nothing secured. That's totally normal because you're building your file. To get it from this point over to Google Slides, you would normally create images from each page of the PowerPoint file, go over to Google Slides, and embed the images into the background of each slide. But now we're going to change the process a little bit with using the Digital Express app. So the first thing you want to do with this file is go to, actually, let's look at all of our thumbnails first. Let's see what's going on here. Make sure everything's here. Okay, we don't need this last one. All right, everything looks good to me. So we're going to go to File, Save As. We're going to save them as PNG files. Now, at this point, I normally recommend exporting them as PNG files with a 300 DPI. You know, there's a theory going around. There's a rumor that Google Slides, once you upload them, it defaults to a 72 DPI. So I don't focus on this step that much anymore. I believe, let's see, if you want to see how I do that, we could go through it. Okay, we go to Save Options, go to Advanced, and this is on a PC. So I have Do Not Compress Image Files. Now, normally it's unclicked, so you want to make sure that's clicked off. So it goes to 220, and for this, we can go to 330. Hit OK. Save. You want to save all slides. Okay, so now this usually takes a moment. Takes a moment, and this is live television, so bear with me. And while that's going on, I'm going to check the Facebook Live comments and see if there's any questions. It's still saving, which is fine. Takes a moment. Okay. And like I said, you know, live television, this can go on for a while. Okay, good, we got it. That could have gone on for like 5 more minutes. All right, so it says each slide in your presentation has been saved in a separate file in the folder. So it is on my desktop and I'm ready to go. So you hit OK. All right, so now let's minimize our PowerPoint. Let's go back to our desktop, and we're at the desktop app. And in this Browse field, we're going to click on Browse, and it's going to bring up a directory for your computer. Now, it was saved to my desktop, and here it is. So you want to select the folder where you just saved all your images. And then you just go to Select Folder. Okay, so now, next step is our sizes. It is 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 11. The next choice is 11 by 8.5. So we have portrait and we have landscape. Then we have the widescreen version, the widescreen size, and then 8 by 10 and 10 by 8. Again, we have portrait and landscape. A lot of digital resource creators prefer to create resources for landscape. The theory is that it fits on the screen and the student doesn't have to scroll. That's great. I prefer 8.5 by 11, whether it's portrait or landscape, because it's a standard printing size. So a teacher that uses one of my digital resources or myself if there's a child that wants to print it or I want to print it, I can easily do it. It's great to have that backup too, because what if the internet goes down or there's a substitute teacher that's with you for the day? Having that option to print something is a really good idea. So we're going to hit submit, and you cross your fingers, and there it is. All right, the PowerPoint file was created successfully. Click OK. Now, where is it? Good question. The PowerPoint file that was generated is in the folder from where you got your images. And here it is on my desktop. And it's right here. So this is the PowerPoint file that was generated. Double click on it to open it. And that's awesome. Okay, so we have in the background here all of our images. Everything has successfully been embedded into the background of each slide. And I'm checking by clicking on the slides, which I highly recommend you do also. If you're using the digital app or any kind of tool to create digital resources, you should always check to make sure everything is locked up and ready to go. And in this case, it is. So I'm going to, now I am ready to go to Google Slides. And we have a resource here all set up, ready to go for us to save time. You would open up a Google Slides file, you would name it, and immediately go to page setup. The 8.5 by 11 is a custom size. So you want to put that in, hit OK. And what happened? Live television, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Click to add a new slide. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. All right, so get rid of that. Now, the next step, so easy. Be ready, because it's going to happen like that. It's going to go fast. File, import slides. Select the file from your computer. Here is your folder where your images are and the PowerPoint file that you just created with the Digital Express app. And this is very exciting. It's importing all the slides. And it's coming. It's almost there. It's working. There it is. Okay, so very cool. Magic. So we're going to select all. If you don't want to select all, that's totally up to you. You would select the ones that you would like to import and go down to the bottom and go to import slides. And here we go. I'm going to delete the first slide. For some reason, there's always a blank slide that shows up. And again, I am checking my slides by clicking on them. And everything is embedded in the background. And I am pumped because that took, I want to say it was like a 7-minute demonstration, and that took less than like 3 minutes to go from the PowerPoint to the Google Slides all embedded. Thumbs up, right? So now it's time to add text boxes. So for many of you, you know this already, some may not. So you deliver this digital resource to a teacher that gets it in their classroom. And the whole idea is for students to publish their responses, add text to these slides. So where do they do that? I could wish, I could hope that that would happen automatically, like, you know, it's instinctive, but it's really not. So you go to insert text box. So let's say here there's 3 responses. There's there's 4 responses. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you want to do insert your response here. Spell response wrong. There we go. All right. So insert response here. But there's 4 of them. So there's 4 spots you want students to fill in their answer. So you're going to do edit, copy, edit, paste. So now we have another text box. You can move them anywhere you want. Oh, and to make life easier, we're going to edit copy both of them at the same time and add 2 more. And we want identical text boxes to go on the other side. So now we're going to copy and paste them all at once. And you are done. Oh, we got to move that over a little bit. And they're really easy to move. As you see, it's not hard. Oh, no, now I'm going back on my words. Here we go. Sorry about that. And let's do these 2. Let's move them over a little bit. Okay, so that looks awesome. So that's how you would deliver it. Now, I've done fancy things like changing the text color in the text boxes. You can change the text, the types of fonts you use, and I'll show you how to do that. Shadows into light happens to be the one I use the most, so it defaults to that one quite a bit. You can change the text color so it stands out more to the child that uses the resource. So that's how you add text boxes. And when the teacher that receives the digital resource or yourself in your own classroom, when you share this with your students, they'll get this and they'll know where to put their answers in. Let's see, yes, okay. So that's how you add text boxes. So let's say you wanted to only share a couple of slides at a time with your students, or let's just say 1 slide with your students. So what would you do in that case? When you receive a digital resource, you of course make a copy. The first thing, you make your own copy. It's a forced copy. You're going to work in your own copy. You can make a copy from that copy and delete slides. So I don't get off track here with my screens. So you would make a copy from your copy and then edit that and send it out to your students. Then you will always have the original copy on your drive to go back to and make changes to. So that's really easy because sometimes you don't want to share 20 slides at a time with students. You want to give them the slide or slides for that class period or for that day. All right, so we are going to go back to the desktop. I'm going to show you quickly how to use the Windows 7 version of the Digital Express app. The same concept, it's the same feel, except this time the PowerPoint is going to automatically open upon you creating it. You're going to go into your drive, go to, all right, hold on, we have to actually delete. I have to go into this folder. I'm going to delete this. Oh, because it's open. That's right. Sorry about that. Close it, close it. Oh, it's not doing it. I think didn't I close it? Does that have to happen? Oh, here we go. Sorry. Let's see if it does it. All right, good. Whew. All right, sorry. So go to the folder you want to use where your images are. You have your 8.5 by 11 size. Now this is for Windows 7. Hit submit, and you see how with this version, it automatically launches the PowerPoint once you create it. But you also, with this version, have to make sure you go to File, Save As, and you have to make sure you're saving. Make sure it's saved in the folder. Okay, so now we're ready to talk about some tips and strategies on what's going on with the Digital Express app and how to make things better. I want to open up, I have a page that's in the Digital Express app, the tutorial. I added a page to the back. Oh, that's not it. Okay, I can just talk about it. So the Digital Express app, there is an issue with if you are using a lot of slides. there's an issue with the numbering of the slides. And here I have it open for you. And we're going to talk about this. I received some interesting findings from people that are using the app that reported back to me that this didn't happen every time with everybody, but just a handful, that the slides appeared to be out of order. True. Didn't happen to me, didn't happen to a lot of people, but it happened to a small group. So this is what you can do to ensure that doesn't happen to you. First, I recommend not batching more than between 30 and 40 slides at a time. This will ensure that you stay organized and you can check your work efficiently, and you can make sure that your slides stay in order. The second thing you can do is rename your slides 1 through 9. And this is what I mean by that. You're going to go to a slide, you're going to right click, you're going to go down to rename. In front of the number 1, you're going to put a 0. Go to slide 2, go down to rename, I'm going to put a 0. And you're going to do that for slides 1 through 9. This will ensure that your slides stay in order once you generate the PowerPoint. This happens most commonly, happens in PowerPoint. I've had it reported back to me that Adobe Photoshop does not have an issue with this, but it looks like PowerPoint seems to be the main one that is creating this binary numbering issue. It is not on the app side, it's on the computer side. So it's, if we were to address this in the future, it would take a lot of hard troubleshooting. It's an issue. So this is the way to get around it. So you would rename slides 1 through 9 with a 0 in front of the number. That will force the computer to read it as 01, 02, 03, because before it wanted to read it as 1, 11, 12, 13, 14. It wanted to skip the slides 1 through 9. And I want to say it was putting it at the end. So this will save you a lot of time and aggravation. Now, I know that it is going to add a little time onto the task, but compared to what it was before, this is not, in my opinion, this isn't going to create too many tears. Unless, of course, you generate a PowerPoint file and everything's out of order and you're like, oh my God, I have to go back. So this is a good safeguard, and I'm going to start doing it myself, and it's a good habit to get into. Okay, so the other thing was, it was a really good idea. Last week, some people in the Inspiration for Google group mentioned that they thought it was a really good idea to maybe take a PDF file and generate a Google Slides resource from the PDF. So this is how you would do that. You would take the PDF file, export all the pages as images, make sure you're saving all the images into a folder, and upload that folder to the Digital Express app, and it will work the same way. The key is you need the folder with the images. That's the key, which in the Digital Express app, as you see on my desktop, in that field, you have to only put a folder where the images are. And you have to make sure that there's no other types of files in that folder. And everything in the folder has to be the same size. So we currently are up to date on Windows 7. We've solved the issue with some of the slides being out of order. And we learned how to use it with a PDF file. I'm loving it, and I'm finding that I'm using the app even when I don't have to, just to generate a PowerPoint, just to see, I'm enjoying using it so much, and I hope you are too. It is available for you, and it's really easy to download. You get it on your desktop, and you'll be wanting to use it more and more. I hope this helped tonight. And if you have any questions, go ahead and put them down under the Facebook Live, and hopefully tonight I will get to them. And I hope everyone's well. And thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you.